My name is Steve Labelle. I am the Computing and STEAM lead in primary school. I'm the only Canadian on staff, actually. I qualified as a secondary teacher in Canada, where I taught for a year, and I made the move to London, England, where I realized that winter was coming, and I didn't want to live in another Canadian winter, so I decided to throw caution to the wind and let the cars fall where they may, and just ended up in London, where I got the chance to teach in some primary schools, and I realized that primary was actually a lot more my passion. I really enjoyed teaching primary kids, so I went back to Goldsmiths in London and got my primary qualifications, and then shortly after that started my international primary British teaching career. After London, I moved to Kiev, Ukraine, where I taught at the British School of Kiev for 2 years, and then after that I moved to Jordan, where I got married in Jordan, and I was there for 5 years at the International Community School. I could say that the best thing in my life happened there when my son was born. And then together, my family and we decided we wanted to try something new, and so we came out back in 2009 to Southeast Asia, where we taught at the British School of Jakarta for 7 years, and absolutely in love with Southeast Asia. We had the chance to travel all around Southeast Asia, and when we came to Vietnam, the best way to describe it is that Vietnam, you fall in love with it straight away. And so we made the decision that, okay, it's time for Vietnam. And now this is now my 8th year here in Vietnam. Started as a primary teacher and a classroom teacher, and made the transition into the STEAM and computing role, and I'm loving every minute of it. The best thing about teaching at BIS Hanoi is the students. They're absolutely amazing. I get up every day wanting to come to work because we do such amazing things in the lessons that I teach them. Also, the teachers that I work with are fantastic. We work very, very closely together, as a team. We're supported by amazing parents. The parents are involved in all aspects of the school, and you develop a really strong rapport and relationship working with them to support the children. And in general, our entire community as a whole is just unbelievable. Things like our international fair and all the different events that we put on, and all of the different support that our community offers to help all the families feel supported. And I think bigger picture from there, Hanoi, and in general as a whole, Hanoi is quaint, and it has like a local and traditional feel to Hanoi, but it also has this big city hustle and bustle where you get to enjoy all the aspects of life in the big city. And Vietnam, like I said, Vietnam, you fall in love with it straight away. I've been seriously fortunate to both live and visit many different countries, and I can say that Vietnam surpasses, completely, just amazes me every single day. I think that Vietnam is amazing because of the history. Vietnam has a fantastic culture. The people are just so loving, and you can't mention Vietnam without mentioning the food. By far, it's the best food in the entire world. STEAM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, and Mathematics, and it's not a subject. It's an actual approach to education. It's a cross-curricular approach to learning. And the best reason for me to say why I've become a STEAM teacher is, honestly, my brain is hardwired that way. I see the connections between different curriculum areas, and STEAM allows me the freedom and the creativity to make those connections. And you approach through STEAM all of the children's learning through that cross-curricular approach, and it gives them that bigger understanding of those connections and bigger picture and bigger, deeper understanding. So STEAM, to me, just makes sense. The kids absolutely love STEAM lessons because, for one of the main reasons is that we try very hard. I work very closely with my colleagues to ensure that what they're learning in the classroom actually connects with what we're learning in our STEAM lessons, and so they get to develop that understanding of how those two environments are connected. The children really thrive at working in teams because STEAM is all about teamwork, the ability to communicate, to cooperate, to compromise, which is sometimes very tricky, And if you can do that, then the children are really able to collaborate, and we really celebrate that collaboration and working together as a team. We work very closely with professors each year. Each year there are certain professors that are selected to put together a topic, a theme. For example, this year the theme was life. We worked with 3 professors that all focused on different aspects of life. The first was about cell life and about the science of cells and how cells are actually, they come from all the same ingredients but specialize into different types of cells, like cells in your stomach, cells in your muscle cells. And the children were able to explore the actual microscopic world of cells. And then we had the opportunity to go big picture, where the second challenge was all about the possibility of life on other planets and the science behind actual sustainability of life. What are the actual requirements, the ingredients in order to be able to live on another planet. And we also really enjoyed looking at the probability, considering the billions and billions of possible planets out there, where we can't be the only beautiful blue pearl with life on it here in our universe. There has to be something else out there. And then the third challenge, which was incredibly interesting, was all about social life, and all about the relationships between people and how those relationships develop, those social relationships. So we've got to become basically social psychologists. And the children actually just blew me away. They came up with some amazing questions to try to look at the actual relationships between people and families. For example, we looked, instead of doing just simple questions about questionnaires and stuff, we actually went around and asked teachers questions like, what do you think the impact on the development of social relationships are between siblings that have more than 5 years apart? The age gap, how that could affect the actual relationship and the social understanding of that relationship within a family, and the possibility of the difference between 2 siblings or an only child compared to a large family with 5 or 8 children, and how that impacts those social relationships. So they're really able to dive deep into the psychology of relationships in society. And I think we're very fortunate, because for each of those challenges, the professors that put it together, they work closely together as a team, and they support us the entire way. They present us with what they want us to do. They give us support. We are able to answer questions. We're in constant communication via online meetings with MIT, and we have the chance to celebrate our achievements. And all the work that we did is actually on the MIT site and on our global campus website as well, so the children can actually see the work that they've done for those challenges actually celebrated internationally. Something that you don't know about me that I'm passionate about. Well, actually, I'm very well known for being very, very much an extrovert. I work very closely with my colleagues, and I work very closely with the children. I'm always smiling and get on with everyone, and we have a fantastic time here at BIS. But I'm actually an introvert. I like being an extrovert, but my passion, for example, that I find time for myself is actually cooking. I cook every meal for my family, for both my wife and my son. And that's my time that I actually am able to turn off my teacher brain, because teachers, I'm sure you know, we're always thinking. We're always walking down in the mall, for example, or getting groceries, or driving our motorcycles to the park with our children. We're thinking, oh, I need to do this, and I can do this, and our teacher brains are always going. And every day I actually have to flip a switch. I flip the switch, turn off my teacher brain, and I go into my little introverted world where I enjoy a nice audio book or listen to some music, and I enjoy a couple hours of putting together a beautiful meal for my family. So I get my time. I can turn off and spend some quality time with just my own thoughts, and I'm able to present at the end of it every night. I'm able to present a wonderful meal and watch my family smile, and when they're eating and not talking, I know that I've done a good job. One more thing about STEAM. One of the real reasons why I love STEAM so much is because the children collaborate together, they work together in teams, but they take something from their imagination, it's in their heads, and they build something from nothing. So the whole process, the creative process of the design process, really results in them understanding a problem, overcoming the problem by developing a solution, working together to build a prototype, test that prototype, and at the end of the process, they actually have something that didn't exist before. And it's just so rewarding for them, and they feel so proud of the fact that they have something in their hand that was once in their mind. And they get to understand that, hey, with their hands and their heads and their imagination and their hearts, they can build something together. And that's a beautiful thing for them to be able to experience and to take with them as they move on in life.